Hey, and welcome to my second devlog about my game I make with Godot 4. This time I worked on improving the visuals of the game, adding a construction feature, some refactoring of old code, adding support for placing multiple storages, and as last thing, I added the first food to the game. So let's get started. First I worked on improving the visuals of the game. I created two sprites and set them up in the engine as 9-slice, or like they are called in Godot, 9-patch rect. For people who don't know, a 9-slice is a way to set up an image by splitting the texture in a 3x3 grid. Elements that have this 9-slice as texture can be transformed like ever you want without stretching the texture. I will link the Godot documentation to the 9-patch rect in the description of the video if you are interested. I created two of these 9 slices. This blue one I use as a button to build new nodes, and the white with the blue border as nodes and for now also as texture for the info panel on the right side. Only these two textures already improved the look of the game by a lot in comparison with the default dark grey rectangles I used before. Of course, they are probably not the final textures, I will work on them again in the future. But this also applies for everything else in the game. Game development is a process of lots of iterations and improving every time a little bit. Next I worked on a basic construction system. Right now you can place new nodes wherever you want, how many you like, and without any restrictions or price to pay. I worked in a system that when you place new nodes, they are first slightly transparent and request a specific amount of wood. When they get all the items they requested delivered, they change their transparency to normal. The only thing I then had to fix was that the trees were already producing wood even though they were still in the construction phase and I had not yet received all the items requested. After fixing that, we are good to go and we can work on the next task. I then spent quite some time on refactoring already existing things in the game. First, I changed how the node scenes are composed. I utilized the possibility in Godot to use inheritance for scenes. Now the three existing node types, tree, house and storage, inherit from a scene with a base node. If I now have to change something in the future at all the nodes, I can just change it in the base node, and all the sub-nodes will inherit this change. Reworking how the game handles inventories was next. I completely redid the whole inventory system of the game. Now it's decoupled and modular. Whatever thing in the game needs an inventory, I just have to add a node with the inventory script and it will work without much else to do. While reworking the inventory, I have also added a maximum capacity, so now it's no longer possible to add infinite items to an inventory. I can just set the inventory size in the editor. Right now players are not able to place their own storages. There is only one pre-placed storage where all the items are delivered to. To change that, I added a new button at the bottom of the UI to build new storage nodes and also change the coding to support multiple storages. For now, villagers will walk to a random storage to store items in there, but I will change that later. While implementing the possibility to place multiple storages, I came to the conclusion that now is the time to completely rewrite the script for the villager behavior. To have a better overview, I started to write down a list of features I want to implement for the villagers. And then it was time to write or rewrite a lot of coding. The villager script now uses a basic state machine to control the behavior of the villagers that can be extended in the future. For now there are the three states: idle, move and execute task. The villagers now also use the reworked inventory system I mentioned earlier. With that they now also can transport a maximum amount of items, and transferring items to or from other inventories is an ease. For now I also removed the hitbox for the villagers, so now they don't collide with anything and just take the shortest route from A to B. I may add in the future a more complex pathfinding with collision avoidance and so on, but let's see how the game develops. The last notable feature I changed is how the villagers decide to which storage they walk. Now they take available items and free space at the storage and the length of the path to the storage into consideration. The last thing I added for this devlog also has something to do with the villagers: food. But before the villagers can eat something, there needs to be a way to get food, so I added a new node, the farm. The farm is more or less like the tree, but instead of generating wood, a farm generates carrots. So now we have food, but no one is eating it. So I added a hunger system. Every villager has a hunger value that decreases every few seconds. When this value is at 50 or lower, a eat task is created. But instead of adding it to the list of available tasks of the global task system, it is added to an individual private list that only this villager has access to. Villagers will always execute first all the tasks in the private list before requesting a new task from the global task system. Executing the eat task means the villager walks to a storage, takes one carrot and takes it to its home house. There it will eat it. Eating means the carrot item is destroyed in exchange of resetting the villager's hunger value to 100. After that, the eat task is done and the villager can work on a new task. And with that we are at the end of the second devlog. Thank you for watching, feedback in the comments is appreciated and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!